Careful what you're
military families
saying.
face during divorce.
So we're now
And
live
these
on the
issues
Book of
range from
Faces.
parenting to
What's up,
pensions.
Facebook
And
folks?
they require an understanding of military life and law. We've been working to protect guys in the military for over 25 years.
Cool. Did that.
So we know
Sweet.
that nothing has the potential to distract you from your mission like a family crisis. And that's where Cordell & Cordell can serve you. Let us protect you on the home front while you protect us on other fronts. Thank you for your service.
Military members are eligible to receive a discount off Cordell & Cordell services. Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Texas attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. Offices in Houston, The Woodlands, St. Louis, and by appointment only in Sugar Land and League City.
It's estimated that 9 out of 10 individual investors fight a losing battle against the big institutions. So what can you do about it? Hi, I'm Mary Beth Motisi, owner of Online Trading Academy here in Houston. Listen to Power Trading Hour to learn how the markets really work and how to think and act like the professionals. Call us at 281-820-8905 to register for our complimentary half-day class. Find out more at HoustonOTA.com and listen to Power Trading Hour, weekdays at 2 p.m. on Business 1110 KTEK.
Are you behind on your taxes? The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world.
30 seconds.
And they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote at 800-207-1265. 800-207-1265.
The following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
It's time to get on the right path with RightPath Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today. Get ready. The guy that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hey, welcome to everybody. The Book of Faces, radio folks, iHeart, TuneIn, people that listen to our podcast. Welcome to the show. It's Tuesday morning, October the 11th. It's hard to believe it's October already. Just the year has it's just been amazing. It just seems like we were turning the new year, to like 10 months ago, 10 and a half months ago. Well, maybe that's what it's been. Anyhow, so it's October 11th. We're going to talk today about finding deals, funding deals, marketing deals. But here's the thing. There's two sides to marketing. There's the marketing of the property once you have it rehabbed or you've gotten it under contract, you want to wholesale it or you want to retail flip it. There's also the marketing for the deals. And Jason and I were talking this morning before the show, and he was talking about the mastermind class that was yesterday. We have a mastermind class that meets every Monday. And in order to get into the mastermind, you should go to our 3-day weekend retreat first. And because mastermind is kind of like an advanced class. And it'd be a little bit like trying to go to vet school or medical school or law school or something like that, and you didn't have at least some undergraduate training. I'm not saying that you have to have an undergraduate degree necessarily, but there's some foundations laid in undergraduate that a graduate school kind of builds on. And that's really our weekend retreat and then mastermind. And some people just, in fact, most people stop. If they even go to college at all, most people stop at a bachelor's degree, and then a few people go beyond that and go on and get a graduate's degree. But what I want to talk about is marketing, because one of the mistakes that Jason and I noticed that we see businesses in general, but more specifically real estate investors, and a lot of times real estate investors, they don't view themselves as a business, and so they don't really treat it like a business. But then it's a mistake that I see that not just investors make, that all businesses make. And what it is that when you're a small business, a self-employed person, I'll reference the Robert Kiyosaki book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he talks about the different quadrants. And I'm going to get sidetracked a little bit here. For those of y'all in the Book of Faces, I'm trying to see, why is my keyboard not? Oh, there we go. Bluetooth keyboard's not attached. Okay. So and I'm going to getting going on Facebook so that y'all can see all of my. I can read y'all's comments and questions, things like that, because this is an interactive show. I want to give information I feel like is valuable to the audience, and what we recognize is there's people that listen every day that have a wide variety of levels of skill, and some people are just getting started brand new for the very first time, and then other people are. I'm getting ready to share this on. Okay, so now I'm sharing. So I'm on Jason's feed. I'm also sharing it on my feed, and I think Jamie's going to share it on the RightPath feed. Okay, so that enough about the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm monitoring questions and all that. Hey, Andy, what's up? So say something so RightPath Real Estate knows you're here. Hey, RightPath. Okay. So enough of that. So back to marketing. So what I see is that people will start and stop their marketing to their own detriment. And I've seen it with people that are part of the big franchise group. I've seen it with individual investors. I've seen it with every single person that gets started. One of the things that I feel like that Jason and I did right is we set a budget. And some people start with a budget of $100 a month. Some people start with a $500 a month budget. Some people start with a $1,000 a month budget. I mean, Jason and I, we started with a $5,000 a month budget because we knew that we wanted to grow this business, as fast as we possibly could. And then we also knew that for every $4,000 to $5,000 that we would spend, we should be able to buy one house. So if we want to start out buying one house a month, it's $5,000. If you want to buy two houses a month, it's 10, three houses, 15, etc. And so as we continue to grow, we would pour more and more money back into marketing, and understand there's a couple of things that are important here. One is that marketing is a lot like farming. And what I see is that people approach marketing a lot like hunting. When I say people, I mean it's business owners, salespeople especially. If you go out deer hunting, you're going out to stalk, let's say, one deer, right? And you're walking around with your rifle, or you're sitting in the blind just waiting for that one deer to come along. And then you're going to take that one shot, you're going to bag that one, game, right? But farming works a little bit differently. And I see that sometimes what people will do is they treat marketing a lot like hunting when it's really farming. And imagine if a farmer went out and let's say that he wants to plant a crop of corn or wheat or cotton or whatever it is. Imagine if he went and he goes, I'm not really sure if this is going to work, so I want to kind of put my toe in and kind of test the water, so to speak. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plant one seed, and I'm going to wait and watch and see what's going to happen. And so I'm going to water it, and I'm going to feed it, and I'm going to nurture it, and I'm going to talk to it. And imagine that, in a couple of days it sprouts, and then in a couple of more days it's starting to get a little bit bigger, and then a couple of more days it starts to get a little bit bigger, and he goes, man, I think this is working. I think I'll plant 2 seeds next time. And imagine if he plants 1 seed the first week, and then 2 seeds 2 weeks later, and then 3 seeds or 4 seeds like 2 weeks after that. Think about how long it would be to get a big harvest. So if you want to get a big harvest, which is lots of sales, you need to do massive amount of marketing. And so one of the things that you see that happen is that when you turn on the spigot of marketing, the phone's going to start ringing. You're going to start getting calls. And then a lot of people will say, well, the person that called, we use an answering service that answers our phone lines. It answers them live, and they say, hey, thanks for calling Houston House Buyers. You're looking to sell a house. And they go through a full script that we've given them, right? They follow our script. Well, sometimes people will call, and they're a little bit surprised that it's a live person answering. And they're not really ready for the questions, things like that, and they hang up. Well, here's what we know about those people. Not all of them, but there's a percentage of those people that actually want to sell a house. And what it is they got nervous. And so we actually make it a point to call back every single hang up. Now, does everyone sell their house to us? Absolutely not. Well, not even everybody that says that they want to sell their house to us, do they sell the house to us? Because a lot of people just really don't understand this whole idea that I can sell a house in the condition that it's in today for a market price that's at a discount to what a retail market price would be. And that's one of the big misnomers that I think that investors their self-talk that's incorrect is that when you're buying a property, we say, hey, we got to buy a property, and let's say that the formula we're using is for a flip house. Going to buy a house that's worth $300,000 if it's fully retail ready, but that I've got to buy that at 70% minus the cost of repairs. And so let's say it needs $100,000 worth of repairs, then 70% of 300 is 210, and then take 100,000 off of that. I got to buy it for 110, right? Well, that's true, and it sounds like we're buying a $300,000 house for $110,000, but that's not the reality. What's happening is, for any of y'all that took economics in either high school or college, y'all probably remember the old-fashioned, it's not old-fashioned, it's the supply and demand curve, right? As demand goes up, what typically happens to price? Price goes up, right? As demand goes down, price goes down. What happens as supply goes up? Typically, if demand doesn't change, if supply goes up, then prices go down, and if supply goes down, then prices go up, right? So there's those inverse relationships and then those direct one-to-one relationships, right? So here's what happens is that when a property is retail ready, then the market is most efficient for supply and demand. You've got a certain amount of demand for houses in that particular price range, and you have a certain amount of supply, and that's going to affect where the price is. Well, what happens when the quality of that property, in other words, the number of repairs that needed to be done on that house, when that starts to increase, when the number of dollars that starts to go up in terms of repairs, the number of people that want to buy that property continues to go down. And when the demand goes down, what happens to the price? The price goes down. But that's a fair market price for that car. So everybody knows that, if you buy a car brand new, drive it off the showroom floor, and you've gone into the dealership, you walk into the dealership, you buy that brand new shiny car, and you drive it off the lot. You're the very first person to drive it off the lot as the new owner. And you get down the road a couple of 100 miles, and you go, wait a minute, I'm not really sure that I'm in love with this car. I want to take it back and have them resell it for me. Are you going to get exactly what you sold or what you bought it for? Absolutely not. It's going to have to be discounted, right? Because the demand for a couple of day old car is less than the demand for a brand new car, because the person that wants to buy a new car says, you know what, I'll buy that, but why not just go ahead and buy a brand new one, because I don't know what's wrong with that one, and I don't have to buy your used car because I can just go ahead and buy a brand new one. So if it's an apples to apples, if I'm not at least getting some kind of incentive to buy yours, I'll just buy it directly from the dealership, and I'll deal with their financing and all those kind of things, and I get a huge advantage in that, right? So you take a discount. In fact, a lot of people say it's between 10, 15, 20% just the moment that you drive it off the lot. So back to the marketing conversation. If you're not staying consistent with marketing, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to have some peaks and some valleys, and you're going to start questioning what it is that you're doing in terms of marketing. Now, here's what I can tell you is that marketing works. All marketing works. Some works a little bit more effectively than others, but I think in the scale that we're trying to do, because you're not branding, you're not large enough with a marketing budget to be able to do like what Coca-Cola does. If marketing doesn't work, then why does a Coca-Cola, when everybody is familiar with their name and they're completely ubiquitous worldwide, everybody's heard of Coca-Cola, why does Coca-Cola still continue to market? Ask yourself that.
1 minute.
Well, the reason why is because marketing works. And they want to maintain the market share position that they've got. So when you're starting your marketing, you just got to decide two things are going to direct your marketing. One is, what's your budget? And number two is, where are you trying to get to? So first is budget. Second is where you're trying to get to. And I'm going to continue that conversation on the other side of the break. So you're listening to RightPath Real Estate Radio. We do have a call-in number. It's 713-785-1817. I'll tell that one more time. 713-785-1817. I want you to put your fear of calling behind you. I'm sure you've got a question about finding deals, about marketing deal, about funding deals, or anything else related to real estate investing. Give us a call, 713-785-1817.
Your mic's off.
All right.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611.
Well, we have a caller, Landon
Again,
from Crosby.
Jennifer.legacymutual.com.
Landon?
Yep, Landon
we can't
from
wait
Crosby.
to consult with
All
you
right.
soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
Do you want to learn how to buy 200 houses in less than 3 years? Well, folks, we've done it. This is Jason Bible of RightPath Real Estate. We've got a weekend retreat coming up October 28th, 29th, and 30th here in Houston, Texas at Memorial City Center. We're teaching our students how to find, fund, and market for real estate deals. So if you want to learn how to do 200 houses like we have, come to that event. Go to rightpathrealestate.com.
Look at that.
Or give us a call, 281-888-9555 to sign up for our weekend retreat.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
From Conroe to Galveston, Orange to Flatonia, and all points in between, Texas General Insurance Agency is trusted by individuals and businesses across the great state of Texas. Whether you're searching for the best auto insurance in Fort Bend, a flood policy for a Galveston Beach property, or coverage for your rental and investment homes in Houston, Texas General Insurance Agency understands your unique needs. Throughout the Lone Star State, their experienced and trusted independent agents offer guidance to clients on the risk-based needs associated with auto and home, investment properties, commercial, and farm and ranch coverage.
Morning,
Their
Andy.
commitment to quality and service allows them to compare multiple markets, coverage, and price to give you the best possible value. Texas General Insurance Agency appreciates the opportunity to learn how they can work for you. Call one of their experienced agents today at 713-622-5977. That's 713-622-5977. Or go to texasgeneralinsurance.com.
Having financial independence and wealth
60
empowerment
seconds.
is the American dream. Learn what the wealthy know. Get strong returns and never lose your principal. That's the Heroes
Hey, Nikki, are
Talk
you watching
Radio
on
way.
Facebook?
Learn about
Yes.
the secrets of
Oh,
finding
okay.
a tax-free
So it kinda makes you feel like I'm there,
income.
huh?
Listen every Monday
Kinda.
at 1 p.m. for Heroes Talk Radio on
Except for I'm
Business
not eating those
1110
breakfast
KTEK. You can also
they were
call us
so
now,
good.
866-544-7755. That's 866-544-7755.
Politics is big business. In fact, it's the biggest business of all.
Yeah, rumor has
and
it.
it directly
Politics is
affects
big
every
business.
business in this country. Tune into your afternoon drive each weekday at 5, where we discuss news and politics that impact us right here in the Bayou City. Remember the afternoon drive with me, Chris Blaney. Weekdays at 5, right here
All right,
on
Mr.
Business
Perry, we
1110
got-
KTEK.
6 seconds. Hot mics. And 5, 4, 3, 2,
This is
1.
Business 1110.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. So we've got a caller, Landon from Crosby. How are you doing, Landon? Hello? Landon?
Okay.
I can hear you now. Landon?
Okay. I've got a question along those lines. I've got
Hello? Anybody?
Oh, his call just dropped. I think he hung up.
All right, well, pull the ripcord. All right, well, Landon, whatever happened, if you've got a question, feel free to give us a call. So Mike says on the Book of Faces, he says, when you buy a house that has a tenant that hasn't paid rent to the previous landlord for 5 months, that isn't on any sort of written lease, how do you get them out so I can rehab and flip the property? And then it says, okay, so that's it. It says see more, and there was only a question mark was the more. So essentially, if you own the property, all you got to do is you evict them. And because they're really an at-will tenant, and so post a 3-day, And then once you post a 3-day, then go file your eviction in the JP court that is in the area, and then show up and say, hey, this guy hadn't paid the previous tenant in five months, and this guy didn't have a lease, and I want him out. I own the property. I don't want to have him as a tenant. He's an at-will tenant. Get out. And so they'll give you a writ of possession in a couple of days, and then or you can call him up and see if you can work something out with the guy. You know what I find in a situation like this is that you can use a carrot and you can use a stick. And the stick is the legal process of getting them out. The carrot is that you can do a cash for keys. Oftentimes, let's face it, if the guy hadn't paid his rent in 5 months, you would think he'd be flush with cash because he doesn't have any living expenses, right? So whatever money he's making, but then on the converse argument of that is that if he had the cash, he'd be paying his rent, probably.
Landon's back.
And so he's not really saving that money. And so if he doesn't have any money, he may not even have the money to move. So you may be able to say, because you may actually spend $1,000 in lost time, just trying to get the guy out. And so he may jump at the chance to be out quickly if you gave him $1,000 or $500 or whatever it is. So now don't give him the money until he's actually gone. You make an agreement with him, say, look, if you're gone by Saturday and you leave the property, broom swept, I'll give you $1,000 first thing Sunday morning. And as long as he does that, now we've made agreements with people before, as much as $8,000 to have somebody get out, in a certain time period. And they also had to do some other conditions. And what I found is they didn't do those conditions. They weren't out by the date. They weren't, they didn't fulfill a lot of the things. They were supposed to give us access on a Wednesday, which they did. They gave us partial access. We were supposed to have complete and total access to this property. And we own the whole property, but there was a whole building they didn't give us access to. They were supposed to give us the opportunity to show the property at least 3 times, and all we had to do was give them 24 hours notice. And so we called them one time on a Monday, and we gave them more than 24 hours notice. We said, hey, we need you out by Wednesday. We want to be able to show the property on Wednesday. They go, well, no, I can't do it on Wednesday. Let's make it Friday, but why don't you call on Thursday and confirm? And I'm like, no, that's not what the agreement is. So they actually breached the agreement. And so when it came time to pay them, we didn't pay them the $8,000. So, you can make a written agreement with people. You can make a verbal agreement, but Mike, that's what I would do. So, Landon, welcome back to the show. Calling from Crosby. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
I'm doing great, thanks.
I had a question. It's off topic, but what do you guys use, or what attorney do you guys use for asset protection?
Well, that's a great question. So we use a company out of Arizona, and they specialize in real estate, investors. And we met them when we were actually at a private money lending conference in Kansas City. And so off air, I can give you their name. They're not a vendor sponsor, so I'm not going to plug them like that. And what I'll say is they're not right for everybody. And in fact, we talked to some local guys, and they just really weren't experienced enough in the real estate arena to be able to kind of give us what we were looking for. So they're actually a CPA and a law firm. So they do our accounting services as well as our corporate structure setup.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great question. Anything else?
No, that's all I was thinking of right now.
Okay. Do you have my cell phone number?
I think so.
I will give it on the air because I will trust that people won't blow it up. But it's 832-473-7071, and if you'll text me off the air, then I'll send you their information. Okay?
Yeah, I've got it.
All right, sounds good. All right, thanks, Landon.
Tom.
All right, thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so back to marketing. That's where we started. So, I will chase some rabbit trails on this, and but eventually I will get back to what we were talking about. So here's the thing with marketing. You got to stay consistent. And what I see is that the cycle, and I know a wholesaler. I won't throw him under the bus, but if I mention his name, y'all would know him. He's been doing it a really long time. He's one of the most prolific wholesalers in the marketplace. And, notoriously what he'll do is he'll send out, let's say 5,000 letters. And he will get blown up with the number of leads that he gets. And then what will happen is he stops marketing because he's so busy doing deals that he works his entire pipeline. And so, imagine a pipeline that's carrying oil or gas or whatever it is it's going to carry, right? A pipeline is only earning its keep, if you will, is if the fluids or the gas or whatever it is flowing through the pipeline. You never want just dry air going through the pipeline, right? Because then you're wasting the opportunity for that resource, right? You've got, the capital that was expended on it and all that kind of stuff. Well, marketing is like your pipeline. You never want the pump to run dry. Have y'all ever tried to, have y'all ever pumped water out of a well? And I'm doing hand gestures. People on Facebook, they can see me, but you do this, that's called priming the pump. And, you're pumping for a long time, trying to get the water up, the pipe so that it can flow out. And once the water starts to flow, as long as you keep pumping, the water continues to flow. So it's like one pump on the handle equals water output. But if the pump has to be primed, you're going to pump it 20, 30, 50, 100 times, depending on the length of the pipe, right? To get water up that hose or up that pipe in order to start flowing out. So it's a lot of effort to get the pump primed. Well, marketing is like that when you first get started. One of the things that Jason and I realized is called lag time. That in this business, what you do today is going to give you results 90 days from now. And that works in a lot of different business. Whether you're in a direct sales business, whether you're selling burglar alarms, whether you're selling security guard services, whatever it is, whether you're selling insurance, there's typically about a 90-day lag time from the time that you start marketing to the time that you start seeing results. Now, some businesses, it's even a longer lag time than that. I mean, if you talk to, engineering firms like Fluor and people like that, I mean, the lag time from the time they start marketing a big project or something like that to the time that it actually comes to fruition is years and years and years. But I'm talking about on a relatively small dollar amount purchase. The lag time's typically about 90 days.
Caller.
And so from the time that you get that pump rolling, that you don't want that pump to have to be primed again. You just want to keep it flowing. So we've got a caller.
Mike from Kingwood.
Okay, well, Facebook folks, y'all heard that. I'll repeat it on the air. Mike from Kingwood, you're welcome to the show.
Hi, Tom. Yeah, I'm following up on my Facebook question. I met with the seller yesterday, and he has the tenant that hasn't paid rent for five months, and he tried evicting them, but there's no written lease. And he had told the judge that there was two other men that were living in the house, and I guess before they could move forward with the eviction, he had to get the names of these two men that were living in the house.
Right.
So it's it's kind of. I mean, have you ever heard of such a thing?
Yeah, essentially what they're talking about, because those are people that also don't have leases as well. And what the judge is basically saying is that they haven't been noticed properly. Okay? So what happened is that let's say that the guy knows just one, let's say the guy that's living there, his name's Pete, right? And then, and if he goes there and puts a 3-day notice on the door, because that's the first thing you have to do before you evict somebody, right? Is that you say, hey, Peter so-and-so is being given notice that he's got 3 days to get out, right? That's the first stage of the eviction process. Then you file the eviction in the JP court. The mistake that he didn't do is he didn't say Pete and all other occupants.
2 minutes.
Follow that?
Okay, yeah, because I mean, the original agreement wasn't even with these two men; it was with
I
woman.
get it. I get it, but these are still at-will tenants now, right? So in other words, if they've been there for a while, then and the landlord hasn't done anything about it, which he didn't even know, and so if he'd have put in the notice, as far I'm not trying to give legal advice or anything like that. I'm just speaking from experience. I'm not an attorney. That's my disclaimer. In fact, my attorney called during the first break, and I'm going to give him a call, as soon as the show is over because he's handling some stuff for us. We typically handle our evictions, though, in-house. Jason is, batting 1,000. We've never failed on an eviction. But you have to do the paperwork correctly on the front end. If the paperwork's not done correctly, and really the mistake that it sounds like y'all are doing right now is that you put the person that you knew was there, and we always include the phrase "and any other occupants" or "and all other occupants," because then when we go there, it's like, hey, Judge, everybody that's there has been noticed, right? We don't know who all's there, but everybody's been noticed. And so they get the opportunity to appear in court before my question is when the current owner, tried to evict them, did the tenant actually show up in court? Because 9 times out of 10, the tenant doesn't show up in court, right? And the only reason why the judge doesn't find in favor of... So in other words, you lost the argument, and the other person wasn't even arguing against you. And the only reason why you lose an argument in a situation like that, because what I'll tell you is the courts in Harris County and Fort Bend County, in this region, they're pretty conservative, okay? And so they understand landlords' rights. They understand that if the tenant doesn't pay, the mortgage still has to get paid, and that gets done by the investor. And so most of the JP judges are not very sympathetic when it comes to tenants not paying rent. And so the only way that you mess this up is if you don't do the paperwork right. You got to dot the I's and cross the T's, and that's the only reason why you lost. Now, that being said, you haven't even bought this house yet, right?
No.
Okay, so it sounds like you're trying to solve the problem before you actually buy the property. Here's what I would do is, the first thing that I would do is I would put this, the seller's got a pain point, right? And in sales, one of the things I know about sales is no pain, no sale. Right? And the greater the pain, the bigger the opportunity for the sale. And you're trying to solve the pain problem on the front end. If you solve the problem for this owner on the front end, you help him get this tenant out, you're looking at it like, hey, I'm going to own this property. But here's the reality is, you're going to get the best deal as long as you're pushing on that pain point. And so all I would be is saying to this investor is like, man, you've really had a heck of a time with this guy, and I'm going to have a heck of a time too. And man, you're basically transferring this huge problem that you've got to me, and the only way I'm willing to do that is if I buy your property at a discount. So let's say I would normally buy that property for $70,000. I mean, I'm going to be trying to get it for like $45,000.
Break.
Right.
Okay. So you've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. If you want to hang on and talk further about this, you got to hold through the break. You listen to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817.
Your mic's off.
Thank you.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further than Noble Mortgage. Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
Join a group of hardworking investors willing to share their knowledge and experience with others. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Discover more at richradio.org. The Realty Investment Club of Houston, the Rich Club, has taught more real estate investors than any other program in the state. Join the Rich Club and become part of the most informed community in Houston. Quickly discover your investment options. Receive the information you need to get started. Learn what it takes to avoid the pitfalls of real estate investment. You have questions? We have answers. If you're considering investments in Houston's real estate, then richradio.org is the quickest way to join the community and learn how to make money in today's market. Learn more about the education and community at richradio.org. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's RICH radio.org.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. We manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 5 years, Fast Track has completed over 500 projects, which has helped us create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
The domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell has been the partner men can count on for over 25 years. Hello, my name's Joe Cordell. Over those years, tens of thousands of guys across America and now in the UK have turned to Cordell & Cordell when everything was on the line. We're proud of that expression of trust, but we know the responsibility that comes with it. Our tremendous growth is a result of our tremendous commitment to a core set of values and an obsession with client care. If we ever lose that focus, we'll cease to be the partner that guys will count on. We get that. So you can be sure that our focus over the next 25 years will stay on those values that got us where we are and that our clients have come to expect.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Texas attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Houston, The Woodlands, St. Louis, and by appointment only in Sugar Land and League City.
5, 4,
This is
3,
Business 1110.
2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. 832. I was getting ready to get my 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. Man, you get in the habit of giving out your personal cell phone. Almost did that on the air, and that would have been kind of silly that people calling in, blowing up my phone. So I did give it out earlier, but there you go. So already helped out landing with the phone number for our attorney. And anyhow, so back to the marketing conversation, and before I get back into the marketing, so just to reiterate, so here's the deal. It's really, really simple. Do-it-yourself lawyering in order to evict someone. There's some real basic steps, but you just really have to read the code and understand what it is, and see it from a tenant's perspective. I mean, imagine some guy moves in and he thinks he's got a right to be there. If he's been there more than just, like 24 hours, and it's not just like a friend spending the night. It's like somebody's been there for a couple of weeks. I mean, then he's an at-will tenant, and the landlord has allowed that. So they have certain rights that are protected by the state legislature. But if they're not paying rent either, then the judge is going to get them out. But they have to be properly noticed, so there's some steps, like it's step 1 and step 2, step 3, and then there's like step, 3A, B, and C, and step 4, step 5. And if you follow those steps, then you'll have a 100% success rate. And it's not that difficult. And it normally takes from start to finish about 21 days. And you can have them out typically within about 24 days, with a constable forcing them out. Now, we've normally had them out sooner than that, because normally by the time that the time to have them be out actually arrives, like they're supposed to show up in court and all that kind of stuff, typically they don't show up and they just kind of get out on their own. And then you just complete the process of getting the writ of possession and all that. Once they vacate the premises and all their stuff is gone, you've got control of the property at that point anyway. So once you have possession, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So back to the marketing. Okay, so the key thing is, I was talking about priming the pump, and that you've got to set a budget that you can afford to complete for at least the next 90 to 120 days. So let's say that you had $5,000 to start your marketing budget. And I can hear it already. Some people are saying, but I don't have $5,000 to start on my marketing budget. Then you have to recognize that you're starting a business. And most businesses that start, like more than 50% of all businesses that start, fail in the first year. And then a high percentage of the ones that survive that first year, they don't survive the second year. And then the same thing go in the third year. And the number one reason why they fail is that they're undercapitalized. And so then here's what you're essentially doing is you're saying, hey, forget all the experts. Forget all the people that know what the heck they're doing about business. Forget business school. Forget, people with MBAs. Forget all the smart people. Forget all the people that have experienced it and failed. I'm going to start with less than $5,000 and build a successful, thriving business. And is that possible? Yeah, maybe. Are the odds stacked against you? Absolutely. I mean, it's like a 99.9% to 0.1%. Odds are you're going to fail. Now, can you trade sweat equity for dollars? Yeah, absolutely. What we found on average that you, instead of putting marketing to work, and in terms of dollars, you can put marketing to work in terms of shoe leather, and it's either driving for dollars or things like that. And we found it takes about 60 hours of time without marketing in order to get a deal. And so can it be done that way? Yes. But here's the problem, is that if you're starting this business and you're trying to live on the dollars that you're making, it's really, really difficult to do that. But it's difficult in any business. Most businesses, they take a tremendous amount of time to get started, but they also take some capital. And Jason and I didn't, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't like we started, some franchises, may cost $50,000 or more just to buy the franchise fee. Now, sometimes that's financeable and all those kind of things. But for Jason and I to have started with as little as, and I know we've told the story before that we started with $20,000 each into the business. So that's a total of $40,000 of capital. And that may sound a little bit overwhelming to some. And I want you to understand, we're giving a message that people can and will be successful in real estate investing if they follow a path. And we call it the right path to real estate. Now, can you do it if you don't have any experience? Yes. Can you do it if you don't have any capital? Yes. Can you do it if you don't have any time? Yes. Can you do it if you don't have money, capital, time, or experience? Man, it gets really difficult, because then what are you bringing in terms of skill sets? It's gonna take you longer to get there. Then you start looking at, what are the goals that you have, and so it's a little bit like, with our RightPath Real Estate, we use the analogy a lot of climbing Mount Everest, and if you were to climb Mount Everest and you weighed 300 pounds, it may not be best to set a goal of climbing Mount Everest this climbing season. Climbing season happens like one time a year, and it only lasts about, a month, something like that. But most of those people train for, a little bit like training for the marathon. I know people that are training for the Houston Marathon that takes place every January. And they typically start training for it like around, March or April or May. It's not like the average person can get out there and just run 26.2 miles. But does that mean that you can't go out and run 26.2 miles tomorrow? I mean, it depends. I mean, first off, do you have the time to go run 26.2 miles? Do you have the skill set to run 26.2 miles? Do you have the nutrition to run 26.2 miles? Do you have the knee joints? All of those kind of things go into that. So imagine that you're trying to climb Mount Everest, and think about the planning that would go into that. How much preparation would go into putting your tools together and the right gear, and what all you would pack, and all those kind of things. And can you do it for free? I mean, yeah, I guess technically you can go and climb Mount Everest for free. I mean, just kind of like taking a walk, right? I mean, but y'all hear how ridiculous that sounds, right? Because I think there's actually climbing fees. I mean, I've never climbed or actually researched, but I think there's climbing fees you have to pay. And you don't have to have a guide. You could go climb it on your own. I mean, just grab yourself a walking stick and put on a big thick coat and just start walking, right? I mean, I guess that's one way to do it. It's not the way that I would recommend. And so, what I see is there's so many real estate gurus out there that are teaching, that real estate is a quick and easy way to get rich. Is it a way to build wealth? Absolutely. I mean, more millionaires, I believe the statistic says more millionaires are created through real estate investing than any other single source. And it's a great way to create wealth. It's a great way to preserve wealth. There's some tremendous tax benefits. There is actually a methodology to do it. Now, there's also a group of listeners out there that are people that have lived on less than what they've made for years and years, and they've accumulated some savings. I think that real estate is a great opportunity for people to leverage their savings to get a better rate of return than with little or no risk. The gold standard in investing in terms of most people consider it to be the safest investment is the CD, right? Y'all remember when CDs used to pay 5, 6, or 7%? Interest rates for mortgages were much, much higher, but we used to go put money in a CD and get 4.5% or 5%, 5.25%, something like that. Lock it up for 5 years. If you had a jumbo, put $100,000 in there, get 5.25% for. Now that was the gold standard. Now right now, I haven't looked up today, but CDs are paying somewhere between 0.25% or this ought to be interesting to do. This won't make great radio, but I'm gonna do it while I'm talking. Look up what the latest CD rates are. So imagine that you could get. Let's see. I'll just type in CD rates. CD rates are currently bank rates coming up. 1,000. Oh, okay. So open a 12-month. This is Synchrony. Giving them a plug. A 1.25% APY with a $2,000 minimum deposit. I think that's probably a little bit high. CDs at Frost. Frost is kind of conservative, so which is good. I see 1.41. I see 1.25. These are some so relatively low. Now imagine that you could increase that 1.5, 1.25. Let's just, for easy math, let's just call it 1%. Okay. And then let's say that you could get 7%. That's a 700% increase on your rate of return. But here's the question is, do you have a 7 times increase in your risk factor? And so as rates go up in terms of return on investment, typically risk goes up. And so what you want to try and do is balance risk versus reward. And so I would think that if you want to be completely passive, we've got a private money lender that we're starting a relationship with right now. And that private money lender has accumulated some money, and he wants to get more than the 1.5 or 1.4%, 1.46%, those kind of things that CDs are offering. And he's thrilled with a 7.5% interest rate. So that's 5 times better. And the reality is it's backed by real estate that's never more than 70% of the ARV minus the cost of repair. So imagine a $300,000 house never be in more than $210,000. So there's a $90,000 spread. The chances of the market dropping below that, he can always get his money back. So his money's safe and secured, but he gets a 7.5% rate of return. That's crazy. That's awesome. So you've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Feel free to give us a call, and we've got one more break and then a short section when we come back.
Do you want to learn how to buy 200 houses in less than 3 years?
All right.
Well, folks, we've done it. This is Jason Bible of RightPath Real Estate. We've got a weekend retreat coming up October 28th, 29th, and 30th here in Houston, Texas at Memorial City Center. We're teaching our students how to find, fund, and market for real estate deals. So if you want to learn how to do 200 houses like we have, come to that event. Go to rightpathrealestate.com or give us a call, 281-888-9555 to sign up for our weekend retreat.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
No more doing the work yourself.
Break,
Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA, we offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs. To tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S., call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
The Realty Investment Club of Houston has taught more real estate investors than any other program in the state. Come check us out at richradio.org. If you're considering learning how to invest in real estate, then richradio.org is the quickest way to learn how to make money in the Houston market. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's RICH, radio.org.
Rehab loans, conventional loans, FHA, and no-income documentation loans can seem scary unless you have the right mortgage company to guide you through the process. Since 2003, Noble Mortgage has been helping investors just like you. Whether rehabbing houses, buying your first home, rental, or commercial property, Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing. Call Noble Mortgage at 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
Do you want to learn how to buy 200 houses in less than 3 years? Well, folks, we've done it. This is Jason Bible of RightPath Real Estate. We've got a weekend retreat coming up October 28th, 29th, and 30th here in Houston, Texas at Memorial City Center. We're teaching our students how to find, fund, and market for real estate deals. So if you want to learn how to do 200 houses like we have, come to that event. Go to rightpathrealestate.com or give us a call, 281-888-9555 to sign up for our weekend retreat.
30 seconds.
Hi, I'm Jen O'Neill.
And I'm Jeff Manheimer.
And we're the founders of Tripping.com, the world's largest site for vacation rentals. Tripping.com is the fastest and easiest way to book vacation homes. We'll show you all available rentals from VRBO, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, and more.
Visit Tripping.com today to book rentals in Virginia Beach, New York City, Maui, Lake Tahoe, and international spots like Paris, Rio, and Sydney.
You'll save an average of 18% per night by booking your vacation rental on Tripping.com.
That's TRIPPING.com.
This is Business 1110.
2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. RightPath Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. So here's what I can tell you. There's a lot of gurus out there teaching you that you can get rich quick in real estate. And what I'll tell you is if you have either dollars to start with marketing or time or some experience, then I think you can go really, really fast. And so when Jason and I started, we started with a little bit of money, and we started with some experience, and we both had a lot of time to commit to this because we both were full-time. Actually, I owned Fast Track, so I had 100% of that ownership, and I had 50% of Houston House buyers, but we had time to put into this. Jason quit his job full-time to do this. He was like all in, kind of burned the boats, if you will. And one of our favorite people to quote is Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn has a quote that says, "Don't wish that things were easier, wish that you were better." And so that's one of the things that I love about this business is you can get better at it day by day. And the great thing about, there's some famous explorers, Lewis and Clark, and maybe y'all have heard of them, and Sacagawea and all that. And, they headed out west, and they were looking for a trail. Can you imagine what it was like for the first people that are going out west and forging the trail that had never been forged before and just heading out there and how long that took? But then next thing you knew, the second people that went out, they went faster. The third people that went out, they went even faster. The fourth person, the fifth person, the sixth person. Can you imagine after you were like, there were 100 people that had already gone? Had the opportunity already been wasted in terms of, oh my gosh, there's already 100 people that have made it out west? No, can you imagine if you were one of the first 100 people going out west?
2 minutes.
What a land of opportunity that would have been. So here's the thing is that you want to hitch your wagon, if you will, to someone that's been there, done that. Now, I don't know of anybody else that's bought 200 houses in the last 34 months. Jason and I are teaching a class October 28th, 29th, and 30th. And probably wouldn't learn anything if you went, so probably shouldn't even waste your time going. I'm just kidding. You're going to learn how to do your marketing, how you do your sales presentation, how you estimate rehabs properly, everything that you would want to know about how to get started in buy, fix, and flip, buy and hold, and wholesaling in the Houston market. Now, what we're teaching work in other markets, we actually have some people coming down from Canada that are going to be coming to our class. And so I think that it works in every single market. Will you have to tweak it a little bit? Jason was talking yesterday on the radio saying that a lot of people are concerned about how competitive a particular market is that they're in. And the reality is y'all ever heard this phrase? It's called the grass is always greener on the other side. The reality is it's not true. You may look to another market and go, oh my gosh, there's no competition over there. The reality is once you get set up there, guess what? There's competition because the market is efficient enough to figure out when there's excess profits being made. And in other words, you're getting 100% returns, 200% returns. Someone's always going to be able to come in and do it faster and cheaper. And so you've got to stay sharp. So if you want to learn how to sharpen your sword, come to our class. You've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Jason and I will both be in the studio tomorrow. Look forward to talking to you then. Have a great day.
From 9 to 10 a.m. on Business 1110, KTEK.
Mike's off.
All right, thanks. Hey, see you tomorrow. All right, let's see. How do I stop that?